do a bit of ASMR. How are you feeling all tonight? How are you doing?
Sorry.
Very well.
You're watching too much Twitch.
We're going to be putting people to sleep here. Right, shall we get started?
Yeah.
Okay. The stage.
Getting there, aren't you?
I'm getting there, absolutely. And welcome to Off the Stage, the show where we take musicians off the stage and into the pub to talk about the ins and outs of the music world. We are back at the fantastic Isis in the main Vox room. I'm James Berry, this is Conor Michael, and today we have Ross Holly.
Hello. How you doing?
Sick. For those who did not realise, my phone just like stalled and crashed. And
Don't blame the phone, James.
I always blame technology.
I know.
Technology
But that's,
nowadays,
I'm trying to think it's me, but you know,
It's not. I seen you press the button. You need a.
it's my fat finger. Like it was like
called
in between.
An iPhone would be a solution there.
An iPhone.
Yeah. Are you one of the few people that don't have them?
No, I'm poor.
Are you an iPhone user?
I'm an Android through and through.
Android.
I once had an iPhone 4.
Oh, they're better now.
Yeah. But then I moved on to an iPad, and it's so much better for gigs. It's amazing sound quality and everything. So
Yeah, I want this iPad. Something that I would.
Yeah, but you get the iPad, you get the iPhone. They all connect.
I know, but
Like the reason I have the MacBook is because it connects to my iPhone. So like
nice.
the notes that I've got here, which is for the podcast and stuff, I can also put my phone and they sync everything up, so everything's all connected.
You just got a Google account. It does it anyway.
he's not wrong.
Because I've just watched what happens when you don't have an iPhone.
Well, I'm sure you can. Yeah,
Go on, try and argue it.
Go on then, yeah, fair enough.
So welcome, Ross. First question, most important question of all. What are you drinking?
Like drivers of the UK, I am drinking Coca-Cola
Very good.
with ice. Water's it down, to be fair.
There you go. Not as strong.
Yep, exactly. Because we're back into the classic room, I've went back to the classic drink, which is the Fruity, which is a lovely little strawberry beer, which you know fine well I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And James has kindly bought me a cherry sour.
Yes.
So thank you very much, James. Didn't realise there was one there, and his face dropped when he saw it. He's
Yep.
like, oh.
So yeah, that'll be the one I'm getting next.
I heard quite a bit about the cherry sour. Like,
Very
is
nice.
it an ale or?
It's a sour.
Which is like it's class. I mean, you think like what is a sour? It's technically a beer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a sour beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of.
Well,
like,
yeah. That's why I call it
yeah.
sour.
But that's the only way to describe it. Really, it's a beer. Like if I'd heard cherry sour before we'd done these podcasts, I would have thought somebody's having a pint of them sours. You know.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different. It's actual.
Yeah.
Like a draft version, but it's,
Yeah, because it's not to be confused with like a cherry cider, because a cherry cider would just taste like, well, you have like a cordial and stuff. It just tastes like cordial, doesn't it?
yeah. I had the peach Marlboro cider yesterday. It was all right, but I don't think I got past a half a pint of it.
Yeah,
Became too much.
It's it'd be a bit too sweet.
Oh, for you guys last week.
Yeah.
This is us recording back-to-back episodes. We had a picnic on yesterday, or again for you guys last week, and I just want to apologise to Picnic because I was not 100% with it. I was coming back from some illness all weekend, and I feel like the first two parts I was very just out of it. But I feel like I kind of pulled myself together by the third part, and I'm much better today. So this could be a better podcast on my behalf.
I'm pretty sure you asked two of the same questions. What was your favourite? What was it? What was
No, it was two similar questions.
Yeah, I thought it was the same question. I was
no,
like,
it was.
Is he?
It was what's your favourite gig that you've been a support for, and who's the favourite headline you've supported. That's at least that's how it was meant to be.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, well, this was our favourite gig. So yeah, but because that's your favourite gig, that doesn't mean that was your favourite headline act, etc. Kind of.
Oh,
you know?
right. Okay. So
How I was trying to ask it.
yeah. Well, I mean,
So again, apologies, Picnic, if I fucked
and,
that up.
and again, you know how I'm like. I'm just away with the fairies most of the time, so I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. So
Did someone make? Rich made that comment today.
Yeah, he mentioned I'm away with the fairies, kind of trying to. That's me looking at the Just Ask Jameses. I'm trying to like scroll through like what would be, because I don't plan ahead. You see, I'm not very good at planning things ahead.
So Rich is the guy that runs the HMV Newcastles.
Hi, Rich.
Oh, yes.
You may have met him because I believe you were there when we did the HMV Fest.
Yes, with yeah. Honestly, I walked in and it's weird how we walked into the HMV in Eldon Square and I couldn't hear anything downstairs. But as soon as I got up to the place where the fest was, it was amazing. The musicians were fantastic.
Well, that's like a concern they have is there's 2 sections you can set up. There is obviously where we were, which has got the entire backdrop and it's the perfect place to do it.
Yeah.
Or there's downstairs next to the wall, but it's slightly slanted. You have to move loads of stuff out the way. Because I've done an actual set there, and they said the 2 options are either upstairs where it's going to look better, but you're not going to get the same footfall. Whereas bands upstairs make more noise, it works.
Yeah.
You want the solos and stuff downstairs, but I was like, I'll still try it. We'll see what happens upstairs.
Give it, yeah. You just got have a bit more music, live music upstairs. But yeah, I do. It would be much easier if it was like right at the front because you get people walking in.
It would, but at the same time, I've also done HMV Metro Centre.
Yeah.
And the issue you get with it, because that's not
Noise
far from the door,
complaint, innit?
the noise complaints to the
Yeah.
other stores.
Yeah.
So being upstairs, it kind of gives you,
yeah.
within reason, a good volume limit.
Like, yeah, don't get us wrong, it was a lovely like backdrop and stuff like that, especially with like the old school brown nail logo on the
Yeah,
wall. I
I
really
like that.
enjoyed that. And
It's tough to know it was there.
yeah, I didn't even realise. I wouldn't have, if the festival wasn't going on, I wouldn't have realised that section even existed.
Yeah,
but now I do. It's great.
That's champion advertising.
But that's
from
what,
there.
that was the
so,
thing. Like we said, look, because originally I'd went in the day of that fest, I was headlining Little Buildings.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, is there any chance? Because they'd stopped in December and they were going to start again in January. I was like, can I go do a set just to push a few more tickets? And he says, oh, with it being the first one of the year, we want to try something different, kind of like a buskers night kind of theme. And my missus was there at the time, Ashley, and she was like, oh, why don't you just do like an off the stage fest? I was like, that's a good idea, that. Yeah. So got James involved, and instead of me doing a gig there, we just put on the off the stage thing. Where we advertised it as much as we could. We had flyers going on outside.
Thank you very much to my beautiful wife, Kat, for handing out leaflets to likes of Darth Vader. And
yeah. Thank you, Darth Vader, for handing them out as well.
Yeah.
Going round. It generally
I've
happens.
seen the Star Wars thing. I was like walking around Elton Square, like, is there something going on? But yeah.
It was a big success. Can we give a congratulations to the? We can't name them, I don't think. But there was
probably can, but let's just avoid complications.
But yeah, there was an individual from doing that gig who was spotted, and she's now they are now signed. Flipping heck, I've done it already, haven't I?
So there was a few female singers.
Yeah, there was a few. So congratulations. Yeah, as I say, it seems harder than it looks.
I'm just guessing which one that was. You know.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's just it shows you that you take up opportunities because we're really grateful of all the artists that came down because they didn't get paid. Like they just
neither did we.
I know, well, we didn't either. But yeah, they just came because it's HMV. It was a little local event. You got 20 minutes and you played. But they did that and they got signed from it. So you know, next time there's a HMV event or an off the stage event. Ask to play. You might get.
The one thing that annoys me, and this happens a lot on social media, is when someone offers an originals gig, and the first question that comes out of everyone's mouth who doesn't care about music is, "What's the fee?"
Yeah, it's like,
and you go, "Well, it's an originals. You're not going to get a great payer. So no one's going to say, here's £200 to play 2 of your own songs. It's not going to happen. You're not Ed Sheeran." Sometimes when it's an originals, you've just got to take the, you know what, half an hour set in front of some new potential fans. I'm going to take that chance.
Yeah.
And the people that came to do the HMV thing, they didn't get paid. Like, obviously, we weren't getting paid. It was just to perform yourself to a new audience.
It was an event to put yourself out there, and you know,
and someone got an opportunity out of it.
Yeah.
So I'd always say, take an opportunity that presents itself.
Yeah, exactly.
The best gigs for original acts are the ones that aren't paid because, like you were saying, it's twofold because you're getting a new audience, like you were saying, but you get to rehearse your stuff live in front of a new crowd.
There's less pressure.
Yeah,
you can try your new stuff out.
Otherwise, I feel as though if you're getting paid to play your own music, you've got to be really tight, and that gives us a weird feeling. I don't know, like I don't want my songs to particularly sound tight because, let's face it, I wrote the songs in my bedroom. you know, like I want to have a bit of fun with it. So, yeah, it's just, I would prefer loads of opportunities where I can just put my music out there and then see what happens if I get signed or anything like that. But
Yeah, but you've got, like you say, you've got to take the opportunities, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But you see that all the time on Facebook. Well, what am I getting for? Because I don't pay the bill with exposure. No, you don't. But 20 minutes of your own stuff isn't going to make enough money anyway for you to pay any bills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Right. So thank you everyone who came down the H&B thing. This is episode 44. So it would have been 2 weeks ago that episode came out.
Yeah.
So as we're saying this, you wouldn't have seen the episode.
Yeah.
But for us, it'll be out in about 3-4 weeks or something.
Yeah, and
I love this time travel thing.
I know. And don't forget the event we're putting on here as well.
17th of June.
But artists will actually get paid for that one, depending on how many.
Depends what you guys do.
Yeah, depends how many tickets you sell.
So what we're doing, we're putting on a little off the stage festival in this very room. We've got the room hired out. It's going to be all day. I think it's going to be like a 2 till 10 or 2 till 11
Something like
thing.
that, yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. We're not going to take anything from it. Anybody can turn up. It's going to be technically a free entry, but it's also like donations.
Yeah.
So pay on the door. You can pay a tenner to get in. You can pay 10 pence if you want.
Yeah.
We'll also put like a little tip jar for the stage. Be like,
Yeah.
they were really good. What we'll do a tip jar per act as well.
Yeah. But then split the overall
We'll split
fee.
the entry fee
Yeah.
between every act, and we'll just give the act whatever they were tipped.
Yeah.
Because there's no point giving the first act what the headline was tipped, etc. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sign me up.
So it might not be a great deal, but again, it's just any opportunity to kind of push the local scene. You know.
Definitely, yeah.
We should talk about Ross's music, because I feel
was
we went
just
on a
about
bit of a
to say,
tangent. Do apologise about
Did
that.
have a few questions in there.
Yeah.
So Ross, obviously you've got a few songs online
Yeah.
already. When you play live, do you do solo or do you play with a band?
I'm mainly solo,
Okay.
but for my original material, like I play covers solo all
Yeah,
the time,
yeah.
and it's a nice income, to be fair. But then when I'm doing that original stuff, the majority of the time I am playing solo. However, I do have a percussionist or
Okay.
drummer / percussionist.
Yeah. Like you can jump on the cajon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, he uses Paul Blackburn. Shout out Paul Blackburn. He uses a djembe,
So that's it. Like,
one of the larger drums.
oh, right.
Like
yeah,
it's
I
nice
know.
bassy sound
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
And he also uses a pair of congas, like the long
Yeah.
drums on the stands and stuff. Don't call them bongos. The bongos are the tiny drums.
All right.
I called them bongos once. He
That's
wasn't
like,
happy.
is
I
that
would
like,
have kept calling them bongos at that point. You got your bongos tonight.
it's like calling a cello a big violin. Have you got your
Yeah.
big violin?
Basically, it is though, isn't it?
It is though, yeah.
Oh, you got a bass. School of Rock reference. But though, like, and then I've got friends who come along and have a jam with us and stuff like that. If the gig's like part of it, but mainly I'm solo. But I like to have a jam with people because it brings different musical influences. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my follow-on to that was obviously listening to your stuff that you've got online. It's not just you and a guitar. There's quite a bit of a
Yeah.
bandy to it.
Yeah.
Do you play any of the instruments recorded as well, or do you bring in a session band, or how do you record?
Well, I go to a guy who lives near me, about 20 minutes away from me, called Neil Gibson. He records an artist called Jonathan Honor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And-
Who was on at H&B.
Yep.
Yeah, really good. He went. Jonathan recommended Neil to me, and I was basically down in the dumps. I was like, I'll give him a try and stuff like that. Thought nothing of it, and then Neil. I took the song to Neil, and he recorded the song. I think he recorded Balcony Blues for the first take of Balcony Blues, and by the end of the day, I fell in love with the original music again. It was weird.
That's nice.
Like he put the band
It's a
behind
really nice
it.
song
and
as I was
stuff.
listening to that earlier today.
Yeah. It was behind. He put the band behind us, but what he done is he took samples from a live drum kit and recorded everything as though it sounded live.
Yeah.
And when I was hearing the mix, I was like, that's an actual drummer. But obviously it was just him with a keyboard
Yeah.
putting in samples. I'm like, that's amazing. It took them hours to do,
Yeah.
but I couldn't be bothered, to be fair.
That's what they do nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, Neil Gibson, he's recorded 4 of my 5 songs. Sorry, 3 of my 4 songs. I'm getting ahead of myself. And I've actually spoke to him, and he's going to record the rest of my album. So it's
Brilliant.
quite exciting times. So
That's nice.
I trust him as well with the sound.
That's an important thing. I was going
Yeah.
to say, because depending on what producer you can get a completely different sound from exactly the same song. So
Yeah.
if you find a producer who mixes a song in a specific way that you really like,
Yeah.
it's half the battle.
Like Neil's the kind of producer that gets the song to you by the end of the day, all mixed, mastered, and everything. He adds in different harmonies and stuff like that. If he's got ideas, he'll throw it in, and it's like basically us chatting here. I go, can you take that little bit out? Or can you make this?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how flexible he is and how much free reign I've got idea-wise, because that's what music should be, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that worse when there's 2 people like, well, I'm going that way, and it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take me to mix your songs?
7 years.
It felt like it.
We recorded them in September, and I think got them back last week.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. Excuse me. I've just emailed one of them off to Blast to see if I can get that sorted.
Oh,
So
excellent. Yeah.
Hopefully that's going to be the summer anthem this year.
Yeah. Hopefully he goes, that's really well recorded, that. Who did
He goes, you know what, we're just going to master that, it's done.
Probably not, but...
Yeah, so if I was to judge your genre by looking, I would say probably like a rock vibe, but don't get that from actually listening to music. How would you describe your genre?
I hate this question.
Everyone does.
I'm heavily influenced by rock and pop.
Sorry, are you okay, James?
Yeah, I just caught a fly
Of course you did.
and I was like...
Was it like the moth from the New Electrics?
It was kind of like the moth, but it was also kind of like Karate Kid, you know, when he does it with the chopsticks. I did that. Anyway, sorry, I'm just...
Instant replay.
Kind of, yeah. Can we get a little... Just James going... Hoodah! Sorry, yes, music.
Dramatic music in the background.
I do apologise. I'm just... it was getting him a beer, that's why, and I was like, I can't let it go into the beer because it's like a fruity beer, you know, so it's just... I don't want to be drinking flies.
Fair enough.
Classic James. Always giving us a good clip to put on YouTube shorts.
Well, yeah. I don't mean to.
So, yeah, genre types. How would you describe
I'm massively into my rock and pop. Truth be told, even though you're looking at me, I'm a huge Green Day fan.
Nice.
Like in school and college.
What's your favourite Green Day
Like
song?
classic Green Day. Like,
This is the other question. Favourite Green Day song for me is a song that they don't often play live called Ha Ha You're Dead.
oh my god, I love that song. That was such a... It was Shenanigans. Was
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that's
great album.
such a good album.
They've
That.
done a cover of
Go catch flies in the corner, guys.
Yeah.
Tired of Waiting.
Tired of waiting. Yeah.
That's such a song, but it's funny because one of my friends joked that she was going to use Ha Ha You're Dead as our funeral song.
Yeah.
And it's such like an upbeat kind of song.
It is.
But then when you realise what the lyrics are, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I would say that. But if we're going mainstream, it has to be Holiday
Yeah.
or Wake Me Up When September Ends.
That's a tune as well.
But
Like Holiday's a good one.
like I'm one of those fans who I appreciate what they bring out,
Yeah.
no matter how good or bad they are. But when you see them live,
About to put on a
it's
show.
second
Like.
to none.
Have you ever cried at a Green Day song live?
Wake Me Up When September Ends.
See, men cry too, James.
Well, I know. Just I don't. Okay. It's okay not to cry.
It's not.
My
Cry,
feel-
bitches.
To the point where the song came. We went to see the story about that. I went to see them in Glasgow when it was Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Weezer, and Amyl and the Sniffers.
That's a good lineup. Even I know 3 out of 4 of them.
Yeah. That's honestly. Hang on. That's great. That's really good going. That.
You see, Amyl and the Sniffers is
The one I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know them.
it's a punk band and with a female fronted, female lead singer, and she came on in like a tracksuit. I was like, all right, fair enough. She was practically wearing not wearing much. Like as the set went on, she took it off. She had, and I was
getting hotter as the yeah.
Well, as you see them live, like in the past, and the likes of like small academy gigs or whatever it is in America, she pretty much wears like bra and panty, like bra and knickers. I'm like, that's weird, but it's punk.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. She goes mental. Anyway, top band to go and see live. But it was Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Weezer, and Amyl and Stiffers. And Wake Me Up When September Ends came on. I had my fiance in front of us, and when I cry, I shake a little bit, unbeknown to me. And she was like, "You're crying, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah," because it was my dad's favourite Green Day song, and like it kind of hit there. But she went, "You soppy get," I went, "Oh God, I don't know why."
Yeah, but that's the best thing in music. It's an emotion thing, unless you're James.
Yeah, well,
we had that question a few weeks ago. Is what's the first song you ever cried at live at a gig? And he's like, "Well, I haven't cried live at a gig." I saw him wipe a tear away when I played a song of mine called "Flowers on a Bridge."
well, you know, I can get emotional.
Yeah.
Push
Just don't tell them.
You've got to push the right buttons, like on the sound pad here. This sound pad is
Back in my mind.
the sound pad is like my emotions. I can hardly click it, and it just.
What we got?
Oh, that's the end emotion.
I finally see.
Why you clip loads of me?
We're back, baby.
Anyway, back to segueing where we're at. So how did you get into music then?
I think it started when I was about 12 years old. I'm 31 now.
Okay, it's not long ago then.
Yeah, true. Well, really, it started when my mum took us for singing lessons at the age of 6.
Okay.
And the first gig was at Gateshead Library. There was like an upstairs to this library or leisure centre, I don't know. And I had a 3-song set list where I was singing the backing tracks.
Did they tell you to keep the noise down?
Well, I'll get on to that.
Ooh.
Because I sang Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles.
Lovely.
Nice.
And then for some reason I went into a Frank Sinatra song. I've got no idea which one it was to this day. And then the last song I was singing was Thunderbirds by Busted.
What a tune. Oh.
Yeah.
Never heard that one. Oh. No, I have. I'm just out trying to be. Actually, no. Sing it to us. Hang on, because I have heard.
The boys are back in town. I'm getting the lyrics
now.
Please stop the hating. Just be glad that they be waiting. Friends we have are ever changing you. When the
Have you not seen the film?
blow, when the Thunderbirds are go.
No, I don't think
the
I've
live
ever
action
seen-
film, not the
No,
broad.
I've never seen the live action film. So I'm doing a Connor this switching roles. All right, man.
I've got a bone to pick with Busted, to be fair. Well, I don't really have a bone, but I was in primary school. Yeah, it would have been primary school when Busted split up. Do you know the gig they had down on the quayside?
No.
They had a gig down at the quayside where the Sage is now. Well, they had like a pop-up event and stuff like that, and Busted were playing their final gig ever, but now they're back. But anyway, but I was supposed to be at that gig, and St. Joseph's Primary School in Bladen wouldn't let me go.
Oh.
Shout out to them that it's a cool school. Like,
It's a
but
bad shout out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Why didn't they let you go?
Because, well, in that school they had like, do you know, like an after school club? Well, this had an afternoon club where I would go along and either get homework done and stuff like that. Well, it was all planned to go and see them because it was like a school outing, because we went to the opening of the Millennium Bridge and we saw the eye open up for the first time and stuff like that. It was great. And they went, "Oh, we're going to the quayside to see some live music." And I worked out that it was Busted.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. And the day came and we were in school and I was just waiting for the coach. Coach never turned up. They cancelled it. Didn't even tell any of the kids or anything like that.
Bastards.
So anyway, I forgot totally about it until the time on, I know I'm going to say this awkwardly, Top of the Pops. it came on top of the pops, and there it was, the key side. The camera pans round to Busted on stage. I'm like, I could have been at that gig. I was devastated.
Saint Joseph. Not the school, just the saint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fuck you doing? That's the kind of stuff that traumatizes kids. Like James has got an entire franchise about one person stealing a pencil.
Yes, I do.
Right now, the
actually,
fact that I would have missed out on that experience, I would have had so many songs.
Yeah. Well. So you should write a song about how.
You should have just went anyway and then remakes your own songs. Like, I'm glad I crashed the key side.
Yeah. Well, I crashed the key side. The newest single right out now.
Oh, I love Busted. When I was growing up, it was that you had to be a fan of Busted and McFly. And McFly were good, but I was always too low to Busted to even like enjoy Five Clothes on the Hair.
Did you hear the rumour that Busted mined?
No.
I don't believe that because I've seen Charlie.
A professional
play live.
musician, mime live, never.
No.
Isn't that everybody?
Like,
I mean, if they're on like Top of the Pops and stuff, they're probably
Yeah,
mined
yeah.
on Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't believe that they. Unless they did, I don't know.
it was
The
like,
question, James.
it was like everyone was saying, "Oh, why are you buying the DVD that brought out a present for everyone?" And
The little
there
live
were-
DVD.
yeah,
I got it.
yeah, great DVD.
No.
And they turned around and went, "Oh, why are you watching that? The Mimed in Manchester? Or was it Manchester? I think it was Manchester. Was it? Oh, somewhere. Well, when they done it live, like when they were playing live, they went, "Oh, they're all mimed." And people, I was like, "No, they can't be. They can't be." And you watch it, they don't mime at all.
I was gonna
No.
say, I've seen Charlie play live in one of his stupid flipping emo bands.
Fight Star.
Fight Star, that's it, yeah. And it was. Oh no! I tell you what, I actually tell a lie. I didn't. I saw him he was a solo stuff, and he was a bit more like folky. It was
Strange.
interesting, but yeah, he was all right. Just
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were 6 doing lessons. You did
Yeah,
like-
getting back to the question. Yeah, I was 6 doing lessons, and at the age of 12, my dad bought me a copy Fender Stag,
Right.
and basically it was like a greeny blue coloured guitar, and it didn't sound great, but my first electric guitar, I've still got it at home, graffiti all over it,
Good.
as you do. And my dad took us to a guy, and he was like, "My son can't bend his fingers because he's got a disability and blah, blah, blah. And he can't do proper chords, like normal chords as other guitarists can do." And he went, "Is there any way my son could learn the guitar?" And this guy, Andy Kyle, who lived in Gateshead, he went, "Give us a week, I'll come back to you and we'll see what happens." So anyway, a week later, we'll go back and we're just having a chat, and Andy goes, "Right, tune your guitar to something called drop D." Oh, okay. And he was like, "This is how the guitar's tuned," showed us everything insides and out of the guitar, how to restring the guitar. It was weird. Not many teachers do that. But then we started going through chords and what each fret was, because I didn't have a clue at 12 years old. And he was like, "Right, I'm going to teach you a song, and you're going to use something called a bottleneck." I went, "What the hell's a bottleneck?" I was petrified, you know. And the first song I ever learned on guitar was Chris Rea's "Road to Hell,"
Right.
with the
cool,
bottleneck, and like I was pretty much doing the lead bottle solo and kind of thing. And ever since then, I've just learned off. The best thing to use now is YouTube to learn. It's
all
amazing.
the time.
And then from that, I went self-employed as a karaoke DJ. But it was good money. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
And then in 2018, around about, I went self-employed in 2015, karaoke DJ. And then by 2018, I went fully self-employed, just solo, like doing cover gigs and stuff like that, because I was sick of doing karaoke discos and stuff. And in 2019 and then 2020, I basically give all that up because of lockdown.
Yeah.
In a sense, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm not pushing for gigs, but I'm content where I am now, just to keep myself in there, keep myself in the loop. But yeah,
So, how do you find playing chords then now? Is there a way you play them, or
yeah,
What's
It's-
massively different?
it's difficult because pretty much as a guitarist you use like multiple fingers and multiple shapes and this, that and the other, whereas I use one or maybe two fingers max.
Okay.
Like I use something called bar chords, which is essentially the top three strings in the tuning of the guitar are similar, so I could play like it's almost like a power chord,
Yeah.
but I get to go around the neck and it's weird, but it's one of those ways of me playing guitar, whereas people are going, well, your guitar's in the wrong tuning. I'm like, well, no, it's not. It's technically drop D.
Yeah.
So
do you still play drop D?
yeah, I
to
play
this day?
drop D.
Oh,
Yeah. Because sometimes I get a bit mischievous and play drop C, but that's by
It's
the
hard,
by.
isn't it?
But no, it's
cool.
it's quite like if I could probably one of the bands I was in, I played drop D and we were playing the likes of Metallica to Judas Priest, and then we went into the Chili Peppers, like this covers band, and I was playing me guitar in drop D, and people were like, how are you playing that guitar then? And I have to explain to them that I've got a disability and yada yada yada, and it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic to go, yeah, I play it differently. It's like I wouldn't even think about putting my guitar in drop D for a song.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's really cool, because there'll be people who watch this who are like, oh, well, I can't play guitar for such a reason. But it's good to know there's loads of different ways around it.
Gives you your own unique style
cool.
as well.
Yeah,
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm like going back to the influences kind of stuff. I'm a massive fan of a ska band called Real Big Fish.
Fucking right. Oh, I wish I brought me T-shirt now. If I knew
I've
you
got
were...
a tie.
Oh,
I've got a
really?
tie with the fish on the bottom, and
I sort of saw them when they went
I'm
on
back to
tour
being out my depth now.
with less than Jake.
mate, such a great gig. I've seen them about 5 times and stuff, but
love them.
again, it's similar to what Green Day do. They have the crowd in the palm of the hand. They're
Yeah.
one of those bands where they're just fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, innit? Just
Aye. Like, and I take a influence from Real Big Fish because some of my songs that I've wrote have that kind of ska rhythm, and I like different rhythms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, I'm a fan of Biffy Clyro or Stereophonics. I'm a massive fan of a comedian called Tim Minchin,
I like Tim Minchin.
Australian pianist.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wrote the songs to Matilda, the musical. And just try and get all of that into my songs. It's difficult to not go directly down a route, but it's great. So I think that's kind of my thing. And I'm huge into country as well now. So
Cool.
because I play
Tap
acoustic
my
guitar.
jacket.
Yeah. Standard.
Mint. That was a really good first part.
Yeah.
Have you got anything you want to add to that, or should we take a break here?
We'll take a break. We're 35 minutes in, so
Sorry, James.
it's quite all right. So I'm happy to keep talking, but I think we'll take a short break because, for one,
James wants a
I
cherry
need another.
salad.
Yeah, I want to catch a few more flies, and we'll do like a Just Ask James. Or I haven't even planned a second one, so we'll see what
We'll see what happens
what side 2 takes us.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see you in a bit. What the fuck
Get
is
an
going on here,
iPhone!
man? Honest to fucking God.
Do you know what it is? As long as a part that was a part of 2 sections.
We're back, baby!
Yes.
There we go. Welcome back to the second side. Side 2, side B, side... I don't
We
know.
do like to be beside the B-side.
Run out of
James,
things.
what we're drinking?
It's called Odyssey.
Odyssey, what is it?
Odyssey. It's a pint of beer.
Lovely. So, well, in the part 2.
It's like an IPA. It's like... It kind of reminds us... It's like one of the new fashion trendy ones. You know...
Is this what the fella had yesterday, where it was made of minerals and rocks and shit?
Oh, it might be, actually.
Because it was cloudy.
Yeah, it might actually be that one. Yeah. But
Is it Chris that was sat next to me yesterday?
Something like that, I think.
I want to say Chris.
You're asking me about names. I'm just like...
I know.
Insert name here.
Yeah.
Oh, the best name thing I had ever is way back when me and Scott Kears would play football. And we still do. But we played... one of the fellas on the team was called James. You would not think he'd forget that name because he's known you for years.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like one of the first times. He's met him a few times before. He used to take him to gigs with us and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the first time we played football together. And he's constantly shouting over. He's like, Chris! Pass the ball, Chris! And he goes over to me. He's like, I tell you what, that Chris doesn't pass. I went, who? Chris. Oh, he's called James. It's like, oh, that's probably why he's not passing you.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was Chris?
Yeah. He's like looking over his shoulder.
The classic Steve.
Alan. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen many of the podcasts. When we get to part 2, it's kind of just like a chill chat. We used to have Would You Rather, Shag, Marry, Avoid scenarios and stuff. We've kind of grown up. And
Yeah, we have.
We've made our music podcast more music related now.
I think I like this though because it kind of like I think people like hearing stories.
Like to interact with this a bit more.
Yeah. So I think it's I don't know. I like
Before we
reading
get on
stories.
this, any viewers, any listeners, if you've got any sections you want us to add into it, we're always open to try and find what is better for you guys. If you've got anything we've done that you're like, I want that brought back, we'll do that. If you've got any new ideas we haven't thought of yet, let us know and we'll give it a try. We just run the podcast, but you guys can actually choose what goes on it.
Yep.
So, James, what we got?
Yeah. So this is so so every week what we've been doing is we've been going on Reddit r/musicians particularly, and what we do is it's all right. Musicians they mention all the dilemmas and stuff, and they want advice. So we thought we'd give them that. So this one from r/musicians is by username Zidane Safuzki. And he says,
he's a footballer, isn't he?
I know, pretty much. Well, he's a musician now.
Striker.
So it's quite a long-winded one, so bear with us. Bandmate wants to play music but doesn't enjoy listening to it. What's the point in that? Well, we'll find out. Fellow musicians, can you please share some advice on how to deal with this? My wife is a somewhat advanced drummer. She practices 1 to 2 hours a week and she has shown some progress, but often we get stuck on seemingly trivial things like determining the time and signature of a song or how particular drum fill fits into it. I don't think telling her things like, hit this drum a bit sooner is really helping in the long run. That's called mansplaining. So don't do that. That's marriage advice 101, right? To hit the drum, you've got to hit it like that, right? Anyway, where was I? It's not helping in the long run. It didn't used to be such a big issue, but now that we're trying to play more complicated stuff, I'm starting to feel like there's some important basics missing. I taught her everything she knows about drums, but I am not a real drummer, so you taught her how to drum.
So she knows fuck all.
So you
and
taught
the
her
problem is that she knows fuck all.
You taught her how to play drums, but you don't know how to play drums. Right, okay, I'm starting to get a pattern here. Anyway, we'll carry on. I just know a lot of theory and can learn some beats or fills and show it to her. I always try to get her to understand the theory instead of just giving her basic pointers. But most of the time, she just learns to play the one song, and theory behind it doesn't carry over to the next song, even if it uses similar techniques. She won't get a real teacher, and she won't practice more, but I don't think that all that's necessary if she at least just listens to the music and gets used to how it works. Listening helped me a lot with my musical skills. My brain just remembers how stuff works, and with a little theory, I'm able to decipher and learn most of what I hear. But she doesn't listen to music, only as like a background. She never really focuses on it, and she can't really. She never. No, I'm gonna lose my spot here. She never really focuses on it, and she can't focus on it while she's doing something else. And she doesn't enjoy just listening and focusing. Do you think it matters? I personally think that she's missing a lot by not listening to music, and maybe if she practiced more, it wouldn't be that much of a deal. But still, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's like learning a language without being exposed to it, speaking, reading, or listening. She told me that she's willing to learn and listen to music more actively because in the end she wants to get better. She wants to enjoy listening, but now if she just stops doing what she's doing and starts trying to listen, it just feels like a chore. She really isn't motivated, and yet she continues to play the drums. Do you think a person can learn to listen to music while being a basic PC? What does this mean? Do you think a person can learn to listen to music while playing a basic PC game or something? Well, no. Fucking hell, man. Or is it a matter of how our brains work and there's nothing she can do to learn it? Should we start practicing active listening while doing something fun? Is there a way to make her appreciate music itself? Does it even make sense for someone like her to continue doing music? Can I just give the first bit of advice? Here, so...
Is this a covers or originals thing? Are they making music or are they playing?
I don't know, but
Right.
I tell you what the situation is. I can read this straight away. Your wife doesn't like music, but she wants to get into a hobby that you both enjoy, and you're obviously pestering her, saying, "Oh, because you know how flipping hard drummers are to find." She's obviously, well, I'll help you with the drums. She's okay.
Tell her you want space.
Yeah. So that's
fuck off.
that's my thing. That's
Yeah.
what I got from that. So she's not into the music, but she just wants to try and make you happy, and she wants to spend time with you because you know how as musicians have very little time.
Sounds like she's suffocating you.
Yeah. So Kat, if you ever want to learn drums,
Divorce her.
Yeah.
It depends. If you're trying to teach her how to play one of your songs, you're going to have to teach her in a session. If you want to do a covers band, you're like, I want to learn this song. Like, she could sit on PlayStation or PC or whatever and play a game and just put a playlist on of songs you want to play.
Clone Hero.
Yeah, it'll eventually hit you in the, like, just
I
stick
think
in
the
your mind.
situation is he's saying, "Oh, this is how you play the drums," and she's going, "Okay," and they're playing along, but like, I think that's as far as it goes with this. Like,
She hasn't got a feel kind of
she's
thing.
not bothered about actually listening to the music, and she doesn't seem like she's got a passion in music. She's just wanting to spend time with her husband.
Leave her. She sounds crazy. She doesn't want you to have your own thing. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if any other input on that one.
Yeah, kind of 2 points. Number one, if I don't know anything about them, but YouTube's their best friend. Like
Yes.
we'll talk about. Put on a song on YouTube, whether she's going to not pay attention or not. Well, if she's going to pay attention or not, at least the song that you want to learn is on.
Yeah.
At least she's heard it. The other thing, which is quite left field, go out to buskers and open mic nights, because then she'll see, hopefully, another drummer or another percussionist, and maybe their influence will go, well, you're more than welcome to jump up and play with
Yeah.
anyone that's playing music. So
Absolutely. That's it. I mean, I say if she's, you've got to like just let her enjoy.
yeah, it's twofold, really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good sound advice, I think similar to what I said, by Pixels of Strife.
Great band
in the
name.
comments. Oh, no, that's very good. There must be a million cautionary tales of bands breaking up relationships and relationships breaking up bands. Tread carefully here. It sounds like your wife isn't actually into music and is simply learning drums to make you happy. Well, that's what I said. That's awesome of her, but now you expect more than she has to give. Find another drummer. Easier said than done. If she gets upset, then explain she needs more experience and practice. I don't think she's going to get upset. She's probably going to be like, "Oh, thank fuck for that." And go
She's
back
gonna
to
get
doing-
upset.
Yeah.
You're going to tell your wife you don't want her to be around. She's going to get upset.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself, James. You know she's going to get upset.
Yeah, well, it's like a band-aid, and it just tell her
You're
that.
fucked.
Anyway, that was the only Just Ask James I had. I don't know if we've been doing crazy gig tales recently. Have we? Have you got any crazy gig stories to share?
I do.
It's like I do. Yeah.
I've got quite a few, but there's like quite a few that stand out, if that makes sense.
Give us
Yeah.
your best one.
I bet. Oh,
We had a long part one. We should shorten part two down.
yeah, fair enough. Best gig I ever done was when I took myself off to London to play at a venue called the Bedford Pub. Literally, I went down on a Tuesday afternoon. The gig was Tuesday night, and I got to play 4 original tracks.
Sheeran played there.
Ed Sheeran played there. George Ezra played
Heard his
there.
EP. I'm sure it's
And,
live at Bedford or something. I wasn't sure if that
Live
was
at the Bedford pub, and
Right,
literally,
that's the one.
do you remember the like a circus tent when you walk in the circus and it's like a circle?
Yeah.
Well, it was basically like the venue we're at today, but there was like a offshot double doors, and if you walk through there, it was a circular venue, but it was dead high ceiling, almost like a circus tent, and the sound was amazing. Tony Moore is a hell of a compere, and it was just a fantastic experience. And granted, I travelled all the way to London to play 4 songs, but the feedback I got from the people of London, it was just amazing. A great experience.
Again, is that not throwback to part 1? Sometimes you got to take the opportunities that don't pay much.
definitely.
You just 4 songs in London. I'd rip someone's arm off.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
I do
Straight
love
away.
when our podcasts kind of like correlate and loop. It's almost like magic.
It's like a professional podcast.
Yes, it is. It's like-
Someone
it's like we
said this is
planned it.
episode 44. We've done it before.
There's a rhyme there. But no, the bed, like anyone who wants to travel to play original stuff, if you're not bothered about getting paid, play the Bedford, because there was like
So that's totally up my street. How would I get about doing a slot at the Bedford? Is
Mess-
it an open mic night or is it a gig?
it's a session. It's classed as a session. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any pay in it.
That's fine with me.
But there's like 5 acts on, and two songs in the first half, two songs in the second half. The second half is mixed up, but it's so professional. And
Cool.
what you do is you can either message the Bedford pub on Facebook, you can email, I believe it's info at the Bedford pub, or you can
Very good memory.
I hope it's right. Or you can email Tony Moore at thebedfordpub.co.uk, I believe.
Cool.
Dutch word. But no, it was such a great experience. Even with the sound and the lighting and the professional, like it just ran smoothly and seemed like really nice. Not fan of the prices though.
No, okay,
Well,
yeah.
welcome to London.
Yeah, true.
If we're going to chuck little shout outs to pubs outside of the Northeast that do originals, big shout out to Ian Prowse, who there he is, already a nod of approval, who runs the Cavern Club Buskers, I'd say, on a Monday.
Yeah, right.
Basically, I went down year before last.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that, yeah.
Went down to Liverpool, and it was on a Monday night, and they just do originals only in the Cavern Club.
Yeah.
Went down. We just went down on my own. Went down, drunk loads of beers, and played 3 original songs. Got great feedback, but technically I've officially played the Cavern Club.
Cavern Club,
Yeah.
It
Fantastic.
was really weird because I just went down on my own, and I got a cheap little easy hotel, and it was just me and my guitar. And I thought, I'll just go get something to eat before I walk down Matthew Street and go to Cavern Club. And there was this little Italian restaurant. And I was trying to find one that wasn't like too. I just wanted to sit in the corner because it's me and a guitar. And there was this person sitting on this long table. I was like, I'll just sit on one of them tables. It's fine. No, I walked in. Turned out I was just like a staff member doing work. They moved me all the way into this big restaurant section. All these lovey-dovey couples are, and there's me and my guitar, and I'm just sat there on my own.
Opposite the guitar with a candle.
Well, yeah, I'm sure 3 people got proposed to around us. I'm like, this is awkward. So I'm just sitting there eating. You can see people looking like I'm the only one on my own. And everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm just there like, I want my pasta to hurry the fuck up. And then, I walked out with my guitar, and I was
like
paid, obviously.
You used to like. Was that so you actually played? Was like like the arch and stuff like downstairs in the basement? Was that?
It's linked.
It's the Cavern Pub and the Cavern Club, isn't it? It's both.
Yeah. So it's like it's linked, but it's the other room.
Oh, right, sorry.
But it's technically still the Cavern Pub.
Yeah, I played the Cavern Club once, but it was on
There was
a.
one up, innit?
Well, that just you mentioned it. So I just
Absolutely.
it wasn't supposed to happen. I was.
Were you the guy who got taken out under the legs? Have we all seen that video?
I should have been. I should have been.
Yeah.
No, it was my mate's stag do, and we're all out. We went down the Cavern Club, and there was a singer on. And my mate, he was a lawyer, managed to persuade the guy to let us sing
He's
a
good
song.
at his job, isn't he?
He's very good at his job. Honestly, he's very good at his job. But I persuaded, so did what fucking song did I do? I Fought the Law.
Yes.
It's on my YouTube actually.
Yeah.
They're live. It's only a 30-second bloody thing, but I got them. I was like, I
Somebody
fought
pulled you
the
off.
law and the law won. And I was like, I got all the people. I was like, come on, sing along. I was absolutely fucking off my trolley.
That's mint though.
So I suppose it was cool little experience. I think the guy because he was playing just like very like half-assed. He must have like a residency, like we'll be doing Filthies, but that kind of energized him a little bit. He's like, oh, I can't be kind of.
Got to be good now.
Yeah, I've got to be good now. I can't be. It can't be second place. This fucking drunken dickhead.
Well, we're off to Manchester next week. We'll have
We
to
are.
find
Very
a
nice.
popular Manchester bar and take over it.
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. That's all I had pretty much for part 2.
Yeah, I reckon.
Call that a little break. I'm going to run to the toilet and
Right.
then come back and
Okay,
do
we'll
part
do
3.
Part 3, right? We'll see you in a bit. Works now.
So I was also emailing my studio back.
We're back, baby!
Scott just did a poo that sounded like shoes falling out of a loft.
Oh, very good.
Welcome back to part 3.
Yeah. So, anyway. Welcome back to side 3. So, you put us off. You've absolutely thrown us off. So I'm very easily swayed in this world.
Sorry, I just read that out loud on the pod.
So this is the part where we talk about your music, your kind of upcoming releases. And I was
mentioned in the first part, obviously how you play chords separately.
Yeah.
Just if you don't mind, obviously going into a bit more depth on how that works, because obviously you made a career into it. And as we said earlier, there's people that will be watching this going, well, I can't play guitar for such and such reason.
Yeah.
But there's always a way to overcome every obstacle. Some are more difficult than others, obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, how do you play? Like,
Well, I tune. I play. I basically tune my guitar to a tuning called drop D, which is essentially the 6th string tuned to the 4th, and it adds like a bar or a power chord kind of feel. The way I play is I've got a disability. I've got 2, but one of them, one of the disabilities affects my hands and the way I play, called arthrogryposis. Try saying that drunk, it's fun. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But no, I can't bend my fingers like other guitarists can bend their fingers to use the tips of the fingers. So the way I play it is I use my ring finger and maybe my pinky finger, and I manage to play chords round my guitar, and it does help, and it's a huge advantage to play. But there are times where I've been playing a gig, for example, done 45 minutes, and my hands go into cramp. And the way I deal with that essentially is I try and have like an iced drink or a cold glass, and I use the cold of the glass to really soften the cramp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a great way of playing guitar, drop D. I believe Foo Fighters Everlong was in drop D.
It is, yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I love that little riff.
Like there's yeah, great riff. And when I play, I have other musicians coming up with us and go, "What open tuning do you have?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not open tuning, it's just drop D." "Oh, well, you must have tuned it different." I was like, "Well, no, it's standard, really."
I just turn that one down.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And if I'm adventurous, I go into drop C and stuff like that for the heavier stuff, but I don't do that very rare. Yeah. So
It's always the thing where like you go for. I did I think it was drop C on the bass guitar to try and do No One Knows.
yes, what a song.
That was that was a chat because it just the vibration just gets a bit too silly, like beyond D. I don't know how people do it, but yeah, that's a heavy.
Yeah, it's great.
So what's drop C? Obviously, I presume you're obviously putting the E down to a C. But
Yeah.
how much difference does that make in a song?
It just makes it really, really low. Like so low, you probably shit yourself. If
Right,
it
a
was
little
loud
Scott
enough.
here is kind of low.
Yeah.
Not the brown note.
Low, yeah.
Not as low as the brown note.
But that's basically it. It's such like a low frequency.
Yeah.
But because you're loosening the string so much, it's hard to one, keep it in tune, and two, it's because it's the vibrations. A lot of the time it buzzes and fuzzes a lot.
Yeah.
So you've got, I'm sure you've got to have like specific strings or a specific neck to use to kind of play that like effectively. And again, because the frequency is so low, it's very hard, especially if you're trying to mix it. It's very hard to actually pick up. It'd be fine on a acoustic guitar, I guess. Like, but I mean, if you want to, just show them how show us how it's done.
So it's weird. I don't know if I'll be on. The way I play it,
Do
like
you want to alter the camera, James?
Shall we do that?
Go on. We'll do a little camera sesh. Let's get James to do some actual work. That way.
but no, the way, yeah, it's weird. It's
We're going
like
to zoom this into you. Fuck, I don't.
I'm going to move that glass.
I was just about to say. Have you got everything angled in? Yeah. Right, go on.
So the way I play, it's going to sound it's going to look weird on camera. So, because when I play chords, do you know like the rock sign and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I'm basically doing that while I'm playing. So it's, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can see that.
That all right for you there? And basically, I hold my ring finger down with my middle finger. And I once got accused of flipping someone off while I was playing guitar. I was like, I didn't mean it. But well, never
Just doing
mind.
an Instagram thing as well, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. But no, drop D is dead easy, so I can go, obviously play it open, it's nice and deep. Go to the 12th fret and I go right round. But then when I'm playing, I use like the flat of my finger to get the higher frequencies. So obviously an A is there, and then it's, so I can, like, it's slightly different, you know. Obviously I'm terrible with the likes of music theory and stuff like that, but it's helped me a hell of a lot.
Just quickly, do you have a specific Instagram tag?
Ross Holly Northeast. I'll double check that actually. Ross Holly Northeast, yeah.
Got you. That's fine. Sorry, we'll talk about it till then, just so I can tag you on the story there.
Everybody,
Wrong one.
You're just used to doing that when you sit back down.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I was going to do.
that's cool.
I was going to do a clap. Just like, yeah, it's really good. That's dead interesting.
Yeah.
But it just shows, improvise, adapt, overcome.
Don't make excuses.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unless you've got no hands.
You know what? I've seen videos of people playing guitar with their feet. So
Yeah.
don't make excuses.
Yeah,
Unless you've got no hands or feet.
that's really cool, though.
Learn drums.
Yeah. Just use your head.
Same joke. Proper neck muscle. We apologise if we offended anybody for that last clip, but you probably can't type to tell us off. So hey, anyway. So that's obviously
Like,
a different way than everybody else normally plays.
Yeah.
Like I've got a unique way of playing the A chord.
Yes.
I do that.
yes.
Whichever. Don't you say that looks weird?
No. I'm get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Because like I could never get used to just pressing the chords down.
Yeah.
Then everybody looks and goes, "That's more complicated." But at the same time, now I can go to an A7 easy and I
More
can make all the X
complicated
play.
to them. not you.
Exactly. So there's always cool ways to learn how to
Yeah.
play differently. Has there been any other obstacles other than, say, disability towards guitar or?
In a sense, I like. Obviously, I hate to admit it, but before lockdown, I stood up and I actively enjoyed myself no matter how big or small the stage was. But now, since I had a bit of issues during lockdown, and now we're out the other side of it, thank God. I now use a stool. Yeah, exactly. I now use a stool, and to me, I don't want to be relegated to a stool. But it's nice to have that sit down where, going back into my disability, I've worked out that one of my legs is shorter than the other, so. When I'm standing up, I get a pain in my left, the lower, in my back on the left side. That's because my feet aren't flat on the floor. My left foot is slightly raised because my left leg's shorter than my right. And so
you almost need like an insole in your shoe just to rebalance it. But
and that's the other thing, I can't wear trainers either because I go on the side of my feet because that's what osteogryposis is. Try saying that when you're drunk. Osteogryposis essentially.
I couldn't say it sober, to be honest with you.
Exactly. It's curvature of bones. So I had clubbed feet when I was younger. I had 17 operations on my legs. And in a nutshell, I got through it. And the one thing that really helped was wearing boots. Like, they tried to make us special shoes, special trainers. I've had calipers, braces, splints, you name it. Nothing would happen. But my mum went to the shop to, I think it was Windsor's or somewhere like that. Shoe Zone it might have been. And she bought me these pair of ex-police boots called Magnums, and I wore them, and they supported my ankle and stuff like that. And we took them to the doctor, and the doctor turned around and went, well, why are you not wearing your braces or anything? My mum was like, they're the best things Ross have ever bought, and it cost us 75 quid. And
sure as you done it.
Touch wood, they've been fine, and I'm wearing Magnums ever since because they're really nice. Yeah.
Is that what you got now?
Yeah. They're quite.
I'm not getting the camera.
No, that's good. They're quite battered and bruised because of the everyday shoe. But like, if I ever walk in bare feet, you would see us walk with a limp. Yeah. Because I walk kind of on the side of my left foot, but then I kind of swing my body, and that's because my left leg isn't as long as my right. So, but yeah, it's just nice to talk about it. I've never done it before, but it's nice to do it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like.
But
that's when there's a will, there's a way, isn't it? Just like just sometimes it just shows you like the most simplest of things can just have the most extraordinary solutions. Like,
I went to Newcastle College, and I'd done a music course in. I'd done a course in 2008, and I moved on to music in 2009. And I met someone called Mark Sanders, who's got the exact same condition, but he has a crutch in one hand, and he plays lead guitar. And honest to God, he's massively into the likes of Dream Theater and.
Does he play guitar the same way as you?
No. It affects his legs more.
All right.
Like, he walks with a little bit of a limp and stuff like that. I don't think it affects his hands.
Right.
I'm not sure. It affects people in different ways, you know. But he's one of the best lead guitarists I've ever seen. He formed a band while he was at college with a friend of his called Palladium. And honestly, like, Dream Theater-esque. Yeah. If Dream Theater meets Freddie from Queen,
that's like, kind of
honest. Matt, who played guitar, who sang, played keys as well. Honestly, they were fucking brilliant. To be fair, you know. But he had a similar thing, and when I was talking about it in college, he was like, "Yeah, I've got that." I was like, "Oh, how do you deal with it?" And it's just,
that's cool.
It's just one of those things that it's a rare thing, but it's more common than you think because it affects loads of people. So it affected me since birth. So
yeah, that's cool. I think upcoming releases. That's what we're going to talk about, wasn't it? I was thinking,
I love watching you try to switch segues.
I know I'm not very good at it, am I?
So this bit where we talk like upcoming releases and stuff, as James was saying.
Yeah.
As I say, this episode comes out 11th of April. So anything from the 10th of April beforehand, pointless. They're not going to come to that show. It's already been and gone.
It's a great show, mind.
They all were. I heard you just played a month non-stop of March, didn't you?
Hell yeah.
Oh. Guinness Book of Records, they all missed it. You were telling us earlier about a release towards the end of May.
May, yeah.
Is there any shows as well as said release which you obviously presume want to promote?
There's no real show like original shows. I do like a once a fortnight gig in a bar in North Shields on a Sunday afternoon.
Which bar?
Charlie's Bar, North Shields.
Charlie's Bar.
It's such a lovely bar. Like, don't get.
Didn't used to be. I grew up in North Shields, and it's a good reputation bar. But then again, which bar in North Shields isn't?
Yeah. Got a couple of stories about that, but I'm not going to get into it now.
Not the right podcast.
Second podcast, yeah. But no, it's a lovely bar, and it's like it's rough and ready. That's what I like about it. Like, I can get away with playing anything I want there. It's like I can do original stuff if I want. I can do covers.
Is it like a buskers night? Or is
No, it's a Sunday afternoon session kind of thing.
Right.
I'm trying to call it #Sunday Fun Day.
Right.
But it's not catching.
So is it yourself that runs
It's
that?
just me. It's just me playing 3 half-hour sets, 2 o'clock in the afternoon until about 4:30, 4:45.
Cool.
And that's nice because if I've got a gig on the night time on Sunday, I'm warmed up.
Yeah.
So it's great that way. And I can basically get away with... They do request songs, don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
It's free reign, whatever songs I want, I'll try and play. But it's one of those gigs where I look forward to it because it's like a residency. And I prefer that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Other than that, gig-wise, I've only... One of the big gigs I've got coming up is on the 27th of May. Down in I call it Leeds, but it's really between Bradford and Leeds.
Too north for me. I'm gigging Birmingham that weekend.
Nice.
It's the final and man not tour.
But no, I'm a regular down in a place called Cleckheaton, which is
Sounds
just
Gaelic.
in a bar called the Bull's Head Inn. Shout out to Paul and Sarah. Manager.
Better be watching this.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
But no, I class it as my local away from home because they're so welcome. I played there when they first opened the place, just after lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
No, just before lockdown. Yeah, it would be just before lockdown. And I've been there New Year's, and there's a good friend of mine called Lindsay Moore. She's got 3% vision, and she's a fantastic singer. Shout out to Lindsay and Craig. And she does a lot for guide dogs and stuff like that. And whenever I'm down there, they come along and show the support. And I was just there recently, and the bar was packed, and people were dancing on seats and everything like that. So
Nice.
I'm back down there on the 27th of May.
Cool.
On the same day, I'm playing Into the Fields at Blythe.
Brilliant. Played that last year.
Yeah, such
little
a... I'm playing something called The Snug. Like, it's their kind of off-shot kind of stage. Vince Race is such a good guy. So...
Solid Mackham.
Is he?
Oh, nice
That's
one.
all I see on Facebook. Yeah, he lost a bet the other week and had to wear a Newcastle top for the Carabao Cup. He was the happiest Geordie that day.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm playing there. It's the first time I was playing there last year, but I'd done a mix of covers and 1 or 2 originals because I didn't feel comfortable playing originals at a festival. But now...
Best tip is whenever you do a festival, play originals.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big or small the crowd is. Like, there could be a crowd of 100 people, and 99 of that 100 people might go, well, this is shit. But you're going to get that one fan.
Yeah.
Always
Goes,
put
"I
your
love this."
set into a festival. That's what
Yeah.
festivals are.
So,
You won't get paid a lot, so make the most of it.
yeah. So I'm playing there. I'm doing like a 40 or 45 minute set. And I'm convinced that I'm doing my album, which
Mint.
coincidentally is released on the 27th of May.
Fantastic. Yeah. Will you be selling physical albums? Or
Yeah, I think
take that to the festival.
Yeah,
Be like, everybody
yeah.
can buy yourself a CD.
I was in two minds about either having a Spotify release or a physical CD release.
Do both.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, but do I release one first and then put it on Spotify later, or do I just bite the bullet and do both at the same time? And from my standpoint, I want the physical album first,
Right.
so I can get CD sales.
What-
Then put it onto Spotify.
What you'd be best doing is, because it would work having them both out, because whoever buys a CD are people who collect CDs regardless.
Yeah,
Other people will look at that and go, oh, I don't want to buy a CD, but I'll go check it out on Spotify.
Yeah.
So you, instead of losing that Spotify, or they would have streamed it anyway, when I presume that's what you're going to do. You're just
Yeah.
going to do CD first and then.
well, I'm not dead set on it, but
'Cause
my thought was going to be
If you do that, do CD and then Spotify,
Yeah.
when you're selling your CDs to people that don't want a physical copy, try and sell the pre-save. You can pre-save
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and then they'll get that, say, 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
At least you've still got that sale from Spotify.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. But I'm in two minds. I'm more swayed to the CD first and then Spotify. But now just talking here, maybe it's a great idea to do both, like you were saying. It's like, I'm not decided on it, but the album nevertheless is going to be called Never Ending Goal,
Brilliant.
because this album is going to be nigh on 7 years in the making.
Great.
Because back 6 to 7 years ago, I had this idea of the album, and obviously it was the thing of the studio wasn't right, or this was wrong and that was wrong, and I lost faith in it. And then obviously going back to the dreaded lockdown thing, I want an album that I like to put out, and I wrote a song called Never Ending Goal, nothing to do with the album, but the title Never Ending Goal, it was like my never ending goal was to get the album out, because it felt like a long journey kind
Yeah.
of thing. But no, it's going to be
That's clever.
8 songs on the album.
Cool.
And got a few songs on Spotify already, which will appear. Here You Won't Be, because that was one of my songs that I just put out on Spotify using DistroKid to see what would happen. And now it's got like just under 6,000 streams, which I
really
think
good, that, yeah.
bonkers. I've
Yeah.
got no idea how.
Yeah.
I hardly play the song
just done
live. But when I first put it out, I pushed it to all my friends, and they must have listened. And then, yeah, it's just one of those things that's bizarre. But
It's a good song. Well, as I was listening to you up to it earlier today, and the newer stuff I prefer. That's not to say anything negative to that song.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people, when they say I like that better, they go, "What's wrong with that?"
Yeah.
But it's still good. But I'm going to presume the songs that are currently out are going to be similar standard to the album that's going to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really good thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
That.
I'm
So
gonna-
definitely, guys, make sure you get streaming that, buying
Yeah.
the CDs.
I want the album to be fun for me. I want the album to sound as fun as it was for me to write them and
Yeah.
record them, for the listener to have fun listening to them, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
Especially to us, it does. To them, it doesn't. To us,
Yeah.
it does. We're musicians. We've all done the same.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, just before we get you to do your song, if these guys were like, "This was a really fun, cool interview," where can I find you? Where are they going to find you?
I am on YouTube, youtube.com/at Ross Holly Northeast. That's a new link. I don't know why it was.
You've changed, YouTube's changed, so you can have like official handles now.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
weird.
yeah.
So yeah, youtube.com/at Ross Holly Northeast.
Yeah.
I am on Twitch as a gamer/musician, which is at Ross Holly Northeast. Instagram at Ross Holly Northeast.
Excellent. All you perfectly the same Ross Holly Northeast.
Yeah,
almost.
and Facebook, of course, Ross Holly Northeast. And
That's absolutely.
What's your favourite game to play on Twitch at the minute?
I have to be honest, Destiny 2.
Okay.
The new DLC has just dropped, Lightfall, and I am in love with the new kind of powers you get.
Yeah.
The other game I really enjoyed going back to, Fallout 76.
Nice.
Really good game. Like
flopped a little bit, that didn't
yeah,
it?
it did. Yeah, but I just like story games.
Yeah.
I just completed Hogwarts Legacy the other day.
Yeah.
How was it?
I was upset when I completed it.
Really?
Nah, it's such a good game. I completed the main everything. I'm now going back to doing the little Merlin quests, trying to find them all over the map. This is the greatest game I've ever played in my life. And I am a Ravenclaw from my Pottermore. So I've done it for Ravenclaw. I'm going to go back, do it again as a Gryffindor and be the good student. I'm going to go back and do it as Slytherin as an absolute cunt. Yeah. So one C word. And I've used it on Slytherins.
Yeah.
Have you heard that they might be releasing a multiplayer online?
I reckon they
Don't
will.
know, but
I
they've
reckon
already
they'll-
started confirming they're doing a second game already in the making.
I reckon they'll end up making it like with kind of what Grand Theft Auto 5 is.
Yes, I remember that.
They
Yeah.
need to bring Quidditch in
Because
it.
it's still
Yeah,
because Grand Theft
yeah.
Auto Online now is just like it's as popular as it ever has been.
Yeah, I downloaded that like maybe 3 weeks ago. I loaded my game in, got in my car, drove out. Next thing you know, I got blew up by a player.
Yeah, that's
Welcome to GTA, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah. But the Hogwarts Legacy is the best. Like I've been non-stop for a week, and then I tell James about it, and he's like, "Oh, well, I don't have the right console for it because it comes out for his console in April." And then I went round to his to do some like studio recording. A few days later, he's like, we bought the new console. I've got the Hogwarts game.
I mean, this sounds sad. Like, I literally bought the console specifically to play Hogwarts Legacy. That's how.
Definitely.
Do you regret it?
No.
I bet your
regrets.
cat's playing it right now.
Hashtag no regrets.
Which will be available soon.
Yeah.
James's song.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
To you guys, if you want to follow us on all socials, we're Off the Stage UK, except for Twitter, Off the Stage 2. Email us, offthestageuk@gmail.com, if you've got any gig stories, any guests you want on, anything you want us to try. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, leave us comments and likes on YouTube. Even if you don't like us, just do that and then fuck off, don't listen to us again. Thank you very much for listening, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for coming down.
Yeah.
Final question. What are you going to play for us in this fourth set?
I'm gonna be playing my latest release, which I released on the 14th of February, for no apparent reason.
Little Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm a soppy romantic, to be fair. And the song is called "I Love You."
I love you too.
Say that all the time at gigs. It's a song I wrote back in 2009 and in Newcastle College, and I never really played it until maybe 2016. It's just such a lovely song because, again, like I said, I'm a soppy romantic. So
It is. I had it on earlier today. So thank you very much for coming down. We're going to get this all set up for you. And we'll get you in part 4.
See you next week.
Get off the
Stage!
I remember back in the day when we first met, I knew there was a perfect way. In the past I thought to myself I wouldn't find the one. I was so wrong to say, as I had finally found the one which is true. And yes, she gave me that big clue. I therefore knew exactly what to do. I pulled her close and said, I love you. I knew I'd found the one in the whole wide world who only cared for me and my soul. I'm glad I'm at your side and not to think of it. When I think of that, I always seem to cry. As I had finally found the one which is true. And yes, she gave me that big clue. I therefore knew exactly what to do. I pulled her close and said, I love you. So don't you ever go away, my love. That's what I pray to all those stars down above. I wouldn't know what to do. I would be so lost without you. Without you. As I had finally found the one which is true. And yes, she gave me that big clue. I therefore knew exactly what to do. I pulled her close and said, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Get off the stage.
Hi, I'm Ollie Myers, and you've been listening to Off the Stage podcast. Make sure you tune in next time.